Philippine Literature and Students' Mindful Awareness. Join us and discuss us with your imaginative and collective minds with your interpretations and literature thoughts. Plasma Podcast, coming to you live. How is Philippine literature this or that? What's Philippine literature this or that? We answer these questions here at Plasma, hosted by Theodore Ramos, Elisha Buenaviles, and Carl Gallardo. Plasma Podcast. Good day, everyone. How are you? I hope all of you are having an amazing day. This is Plasma, a podcast talking about the various Philippine literature. I'm Dan Theodore Ramos, your host, and I would like to welcome my audience to the pilot episode of Plasma. Elisha and Carl, can you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I am Elisha Buenaviles, and I will be co-hosting this podcast with my classmates.
Hi, I am Carl Gallardo. I'm also a part of hosting this podcast.
So guys, what do you all like reading?
A very good piece of Philippine literature that I personally like reading is the famous work of the national hero of the Philippines, Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonzo Relonda, most commonly known as Dr. Jose Rizal, titled Nolimitangere.
What's it about?
It is the story of Don Crisostomo Ibarra, a young man of Filipino and Spanish descent who returns to the Philippines after a 7-year trip to Europe.
Oh, did you also know that the title of the novel literally translates to Touch Me Not?
Really? That's definitely a new piece of information for me. Do you mind telling me more? I just can never get what the thing is about this book or this particular author.
Of course, yeah, it can be like that for a lot of people. Although, you don't really need to have a lot of knowledge about the author or the book to enjoy it. Maybe you need more context about it. Alicia, why don't you give us more info about Noli Me Tangere?
Sure. The novel Nolimitangere was written over a century ago, back in 1887. This novel was also written when the Philippines was conquered by the Spaniards, so this book is really, really old, and the original copy of it is stored somewhere in a museum. I heard that it recently went public so that everyone can see it. The author is pretty cool too, right, Carl?
Yep, our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. He wrote the sequel to the first novel 4 years after it was created, titled El Filibusterismo.
I don't know what was going on in his head, but he's a pretty good writer. I think we can all take inspiration from this, and we could definitely apply it to the future by learning from our mistakes. What do you think is the impact of his literature to the Filipinos? And what do you think motivated other people supporting his book to rebel?
Honestly, I think the book sparked the nationalism and patriotism of the people that read them, and thus increasing their independence. I actually think that this is a really good piece of literature, especially because it is so diverse, and the fact that Dr. Jose Rizal studied and published it on his own, as well as writing this in a time of crisis, showing his adoration for his country.
I also happen to know about a female poet named Jessica Hagedorn.
Who?
Well, Jessica Hagedorn was born, grew up, and immigrated to the US in her early teens from the Philippines. Toxicology, Green Jungle, The Gangsters of Love, and Dog Eaters are some of the books she has written. Dog Eaters won the American Book Award and was a nominee for the National Book Award.
Oh wow, she's a self-made woman.
Yeah, Jessica Hagedorn took her ethnicity with her as a part of who she is in another country. Let's not forget that Jose Rizal was also willing to sacrifice his own life for his country's independence.
Is Jessica Hagedorn a fiction writer? Because the titles of her work are kind of fiction-y.
She does fiction sometimes. Why?
I don't know. I just figured that if we talked about non-fiction books, we should also give fiction books a chance.
If you think about it, isn't it weird that old books are more famous than most books nowadays?
I heard that there are pieces of literature that are older than Dr. Jose Rizal's books. And I think that this is real because there are some even back dating to 1838. It's the poem Florante and Laura, written by Francisco Balagtas. I think we can get our surprise guests, Mark Gabriel and Hannah Abarrientos, to go and explain more about this topic. Mark and Hannah?
Yes, Dan, I am here.
Me too, I'm here as well.
Welcome, classmates. I am so glad to have you here, and I gotta say, I didn't expect you guys to agree so fast. I actually wanted you guys to be here in the pilot episode of this podcast because the two of you know a lot about these topics.
Yeah, I'm so excited to join you guys.
Me too. I am so grateful that you asked me to be here. I literally said yes the minute you asked me to.
So, Mark, what is your opinion about Florante and Laura?
I think that the poem Florante at Laura is important as it showcases the injustices and unfairness of the government.
But you do know that there are also topics that are about romance and other stuff, right? And that it tackles the challenges of love. It was also written about Francisco's love.
No, actually, I do not. In fact, I think it should focus more on the important issues like the government that he talked and wrote about.
I never said it wasn't important. I'm just implying that the other parts are important as well. You shouldn't only focus on the big parts. The small ones matter too, you know.
Whoa, guys, chill.
Well, what Hannah said is true, though. We should look for the small details too, because we never know if we could find an important detail hiding in the background. We all also know that just only a small amount of people are nowadays interested in Philippine literature, because time after time, the things that people are interested in change. I definitely have seen people be creative on social media, though. It's one of the ways that make Philippine literature more interesting for me.
I happen to watch TV documentaries. I watch them if I leave free time. And I quite enjoy learning through a screen.
Oh, actually, there are some TV shows that are about Philippine literature. One of them is the Maria Clara at Ibarra.
Oh my god, true! This is a genius way of advertising Filipino literature because people are able to watch TV through their home and at the same time they can relax. People can gain knowledge about the past literature by watching this TV show while lying down. I'm watching this specific show that talks about the Spanish era and it amazes me because of the scenes of it. The actors express it with their best and it has a great moral lesson that I realized about Philippine literature.
This TV show is very factual because it is connected and reflects real life events. It also leads to Sarazar's legacy.
Interesting. I think I want to watch this TV show now. Oh wait, I forgot. I don't have cable.
Oh, you don't need one. It's available on streaming services like Webflix and Crispy Turn. You better watch this TV show because it has a lot of knowledge and also students must watch this because it is so educational. It's pretty great having knowledge about the past and exploring our homeland.
Right. A lot of historic places are shown in this TV show. One of my favorites is the Calle Crisologo and the Santa Monica Parish Church. These are very historic places and can be found at the local circuit.
Philippine literature definitely serves as a guide and a big part of our beloved country because it teaches us lessons that we could use to enhance ourselves, also our country, and to seek new things. This symbolizes ancestors, events, and heroes of our country, right?
Yeah, having knowledge about this is super important because we could use it as we strive in life and we can be proud of what we are.
This is so fun and entertaining. Us just talking about our opinions and laughing about topics are things I will look forward to the future. Honestly, this is not a part of my plan when I started looking for a hobby. It definitely took me back to when communicating through devices wasn't a thing. Can you imagine people used to write letters and mail it?
Yeah, life was so hard before. Now we just type and tap to send a message. Ah, the good old days.
Yeah, there's definitely there definitely is nostalgia coming to me when we talk about these type of things. Speaking of letters, didn't Jose Rizal himself write letters?
Oh yeah, he did. I found in a book somewhere in the library I was in that Dr. Jose Rizal wrote a letter to a group of young women in Malolos on February 22, 1889, endorsing their proposal to establish a night school.
Whoa, you have an impeccable memory.
True.
Y'all know that he was a womanizer back then, right? People said that he used to write love letters for his lovers.
Oh, really? Like who?
Well, one woman was Leonor Valenzuela. She was a tall girl. She once received a love letter from Rizal that was written in invisible ink. You could only read the message if you placed the letter over a lamp or a candle. One of Rizal's very first love interests was Leonor Valenzuela. Sadly, they split up when Rizal had to travel to Spain.
Dang, he wrote a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah. In fact, not only did he write love letters, but also the ones that we spoke about.
Really? To whom did he write more love letters for?
Actually, he wrote a book, not a love letter. And the whole reason he wrote El Filibusterismo was for the three martyred priests named Mariana Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, also known as Bamburza. Their deaths have left an irreparable impression on his mind. Similar to Nolimi Tangere, El Filibusterismo seeks to educate society and bring Filipinos to liberty.
How did Jose Rizal die though?
On December 30, 1896, he was put to death in Bagong Bayan, today known as Luneta, in Manila. For the Filipinos, his death meant much more though. It triggered a revolt against the Spanish government, which had dominated the Philippines, then known as Islas Filipinas, from 1565 to 1898. The rebirth of the nation was inspired by Rizal's writing.
Wow, I can't believe he influenced a lot of people to fight for their independence.
He is a really great influencer. Actually, Jose Rizal was very popular, even in other countries. He had a very long journey. All I could say is he is a big part and influence in the history.
There are many topics that have previously been tackled. We've gained a lot of knowledge, and I'm certain that our listeners have gained similar knowledge. He talked about how Philippine literature has influenced the present and how it captures the traditions and cultures of our beloved nation, as well as the historical events that have occurred. How may Filipino literature help us accept the future if it influences the present?
It may help us accept the future by learning and having to focus more on the future while learning the past. It influences the present in a good way by telling stories and passing it on through generations.
Oh my gosh, look at the timestamp. We're already at 13 minutes and 23 seconds.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I think we should end the podcast here, don't you think, guys?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope you've gained knowledge and had fun with our discussion. Again, I am Theodore Ramos with co-hosts Elisha Buenaviles and Carl Gallardo, and also with our guests. Thank you very much to our special guests, Mark Gabriel and Hannah Abarientos.
Thank you. It was fun to be part of the show.
It is really fun. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I really had fun, and I hope we could do this another time.
Sure.
Yeah. That's all for today, guys. This is Plasma. Stay safe and have a great day, everyone.
This program of the Sophian Radio is exclusively published by the EDC Paladin Society. The views and opinions of the podcast creators don't necessarily reflect the official policies and position, views and opinions of Escuela de Sofia of Caloocan Inc., its administrators, personnel, and staff, host of program, and other people of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are their own opinion and not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual in anyone or anything. Fair use statement: this podcast may contain copyrighted materials, the use of which has not been specifically authorized by the copyright holders. All rights reserved. 2022.